What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we got some more updates. I promised you guys if we heard anything else, I would bring this update to you. And yes, we have some more updates. First, President Biden is going to be making his way to Capitol Hill to try to persuade Democrats to get on board with his agenda. Nancy Pelosi is still working with Senator Joe Manchin to try to get a deal done, try to get the negotiation numbers a little bit closer. According to reports, they are getting closer, but we don't know if that's going to happen soon or not. The other big report is Nancy Pelosi. According to experts, they are saying that Nancy Pelosi didn't technically dismiss the House of Representatives yesterday. So she hasn't actually gone back on her word of having a vote on Thursday because technically, even though she didn't dismiss the House of Representatives, they had to go home, they had to get some rest, so that's what happened last night. So if there's a vote today, it technically is still Thursday, according to the House of Representatives. Well, so we may see a vote today. Well, here's what we know. Nancy Pelosi didn't know about the previous agreement between Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin. She didn't know about that, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I addressed how yesterday Politico actually provided a letter, which was a signed agreement by Senator Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin, which said his top line number was $1.5 trillion. He had certain things within the letter or the agreement that he would support or would not support. And well, Nancy Pelosi didn't know about that until yesterday. So, according to multiple reports, this bill must come down in size. However, and this is where things are very interesting, this report indicates that negotiations are ongoing, and right now progressives are willing to drop the size of the bill. However, there's certain provisions that are included in this bill that are non-negotiable. Now, we do not know what exactly those are, but according to just past research that I've done, okay, I would assume that Medicare is one of those things that's non-negotiable. That's one of the things that Bernie Sanders has been pushing for. I'd assume that the child tax credit payments is non-negotiable. It has to be extended at least a couple more years. That's probably another big one. Affordable housing is going to be included into that just because right now there's a big shortage. There's a major shortage on affordable housing, and this is one of the problems is too many people will potentially be homeless if this eviction crisis does actually play out the way many are expecting. So that's not good news there. So those are three that I think will be included. I would assume that free community college would probably be, it would most likely be pulled out of there simply because when you say it's free community college, yet it does cost money, it costs taxpayers, obviously their tax dollars. One other thing I think will be included is stuff for childcare. Okay, elder care is probably going to be included as well, but I think those are probably the main things as of right now. But as we know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the news and updates as we get it. Also, we learned this morning that Senator Joe Manchin is willing to negotiate this bill. According to multiple Senate aides, he is willing to negotiate this bill. However, his top line number is still $1.5 trillion. However, the reports do indicate that he's looking to get to a yes. He wants to figure out a way to get to yes and support the bill. But it's going to come down to the size of the bill and what he believes will not cause additional inflation. So if we go up and above $1.5 trillion, he could potentially support it. But whatever we're spending the money on cannot cause more inflation. I don't know exactly what we're going to see there. This is one of the reasons why I don't know if affordable housing is going to be included here, because if you provide more affordable housing, yeah, it's great. Okay. And if you build it quick, which that's the problem, we have a lumber shortage, we have an issue there, right? So if we build more or get more affordable housing, that's great. The problem is going to take a while. So even though we're going to raise taxes initially, we may not see affordable housing for 2 to 5 years down the road. So that's the issue, is as soon as this bill goes into effect, we will be taxed differently. The American people are, in many cases, are going to spend a little bit more. And so we will pay more in taxes now, but we're not going to see anything out of this potentially $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, possibly for 2, 5, maybe 8 to 10 years down the road. So that's turning into a big issue as well. We also know today that President Biden will be making his way to Capitol Hill, and his plan here, okay? Let me explain what this is, because some reports are saying he's going to go and negotiate. Well, he's not going to negotiate. What he's trying to do, according to multiple reports, is President Biden wants to go and try to unite Democrats behind his agenda. Now, I want to emphasize his. What we are hearing is that too many Democrats believe that all the social spending, this huge $3.5 trillion stimulus package or human infrastructure bill, this is all Bernie Sanders is doing. That's what many Democrats believe at this time. However, President Biden wants to go and kind of talk with Democrats and let them know this is his agenda. He is the one pushing for all of this, not Senator Bernie Sanders. Even though Senator Sanders is kind of heading up this entire thing, this is not his agenda. He is bringing forward President Biden's agenda. That's why President Biden is going to Capitol Hill, at least according to multiple reports. So we will see if this does anything, but it may not. But as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on that update. Just a short while ago, we actually learned that Nancy Pelosi, she still wants to have a vote today. The goal was to have this vote yesterday. However, she decided not to put the bill on the floor and put it up for a vote because she knew she didn't have the Democratic votes. There was no way it was going to happen. However, and I just want to kind of bring this up, some say that this bill could pass with Republican votes. Okay, both Democratic and Republican votes. And I want to bring this to your attention because if we see this bill get passed from Republicans as well, that's one of the first things that Democrats don't want. They do not want to rely on Republicans in order to get this bill passed. If that happens, it would actually hurt Democrats because Republicans helped them get a bill done, even though it's a bipartisan bill. Republicans had to help them to get over that number threshold. That doesn't look good for progressives. That would actually hurt Democrats in the upcoming midterm elections. So, Nancy Pelosi, she says she wants to get all Democrats on board because this entire agenda needs to pass, not just bits and pieces. But progressives are still holding firm. They say that the $3.5 trillion bill must pass first, or they will not support the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill. The problem there is, right now, Democrats or progressives say they won't vote for the $1.2 trillion bill till the $3.5 trillion bill is passed. But yet, moderates are saying, well, if you don't vote for the $1.2 trillion bill, we will not support the $3.5 trillion bill. But yet, the reports all indicate that the $3.5 trillion bill is dead on arrival once it hits the Senate because it's too big. It's too big, too expensive, and Senator Sinema and Senator Joe Manchin do not support just the overall size. So we'll see what happens there. We also know Democrats don't plan on using budget reconciliation for the debt ceiling. This is actually pretty big news, and this is very interesting. Right now, it is possible that Democrats can take the budget reconciliation card, use it for the debt ceiling, and raise it or suspend it. Okay, I believe it would have to be raised as opposed to suspended, or maybe it could be either one. I haven't looked into it that deeply. But what I can tell you is right now, the indication is there's no way Democrats use the budget reconciliation for the debt ceiling. There's no way that's going to happen. That's even according to multiple White House aides. They're saying that no, that's not something they plan on doing. So they are still planning on using the budget reconciliation for the infrastructure bill, possibly worth $3.5 trillion. Now, how will the debt ceiling be solved? How will we resolve this issue? Well, according to multiple House aides, the talks this week and memos going around the White House have been on minting a $1 trillion coin. Yes, a $1 trillion coin, which they can do that. If Congress can't increase the debt ceiling, this is exactly what's going to happen. According to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she says payments for Social Security will not go out. She says the child tax credit payments will be delayed. School funding will be halted. We know nutrition assistance or SNAP benefits, okay, they'd see delays there as well. We know our military personnel wouldn't get paid, right? There's a lot of issues, and these are just some of them. There's a lot of issues going on right now. And this week, when the White House was asked if there is a way they could continue making the payments, here's what was revealed. It was revealed that the White House could not afford to continue making payments for certain groups or programs, and they would have to default on many of their current obligations. That's what's being said right now. Let's get into the immigration news. Here's what we're hearing. According to Panama officials, they are now warning the United States that as many as 85,000 Haitians are coming. They are currently making their way through Panama. Some are actually being held up. I think there's an additional 30,000 Haitians that are currently being held up. Just in the past few weeks, 30,000 Haitians have crossed into the U.S. Just in the past few weeks. There's about 12,000 of them that have actually been released into the U.S. There's another 5,000 that are just waiting to be processed. But here's what the U.S. had to say. The U.S. has officially changed their policy on illegal immigrants. So now, instead of deporting an illegal immigrant once they are found out about, they are actually saying that unless they commit a serious crime, okay, unless they commit a serious crime, they will not be deported. That's exactly how things are going right now. So, according to multiple reports, they are saying that having more people in the United States is actually a good thing because it creates more competition for jobs. As we get more competition for jobs, the rates should go up. Well, that sounds good. However, more competition for jobs means there's actually less jobs for the people that are already here. And right now, there's already a shortage of people wanting to work and jobs available. We also know that when more people are working legally and pay taxes, right, then we see obviously more money's coming into the federal government as revenue, which they can spend instead of taxing the American people, and more money goes into Social Security. So there is some good news about having more people as long as they are here legally, can work legally, and are paying their fair share in taxes. So that's what we're hearing right now. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.